Hello and welcome back to my Pivot Diaries, which is what I'm calling it at the moment. It's day 2 and I'm parked on the side of the road in the car again. I'm gonna try and do some of these not in the car, but that's just where it is making the most sense at the moment. And there's a lot of noise around, like sirens and cars going past, so apologies if you can hear that, but we're gonna keep on keeping on. And I will say that, I would have really liked to have done my 4 hours of like power work to try and smash out my client stuff today. I am going to do that when I get home, but my morning has been a little bit all over the place because basically yesterday, if you watched yesterday's video, I was talking about how I wanted to do 4 hours of like focused client work and then spend any remaining time that I have and like any remaining energy working on my business and on my pivot. And it didn't quite, sorry, this is a bit all over the place. It went really well, like it worked quite well. I did the 4 hours of client work. I smashed out like quite a lot actually. So by the time it was like 10:30, 11, I felt pretty accomplished with what I'd done. But then the rest of the day was a little bit of a bust. I had a client call, which was already booked in, and that went fine. And then I had another call that was sort of an impromptu after that to talk about a current project, which was fine as well, but just that kind of threw me out a little bit in what we discussed on that call. And there's just more stuff we have to dive into with this particular project. Which I won't go too much into, but that kind of threw me a little bit because it wasn't planned, it wasn't scheduled in, and just like what's happening with that project is stressing me out a little bit at the moment. So yeah, by the time it got to the afternoon and I actually had some time to work on my business, I had no energy left and I wasn't really able to do a whole lot, unfortunately. For my business, I'm working on my pivot, which is kind of my goal, because if I'm not taking steps to work towards this pivot and shifting things over, then I'm going to be stuck on this endless hamster wheel that I've been stuck on for ages now. So whilst the 4 hours of power sort of really did work with like getting through some client stuff, it didn't help me in my pivot. So yeah, today I just had to go to we've got this storage unit, me and my dad, and it's just full of all our old family stuff from our old family home. If you followed my story, my mum passed away a couple of years ago in 2021, and when that happened, my dad moved out of our family home. Like, I'm an only child, so it's just me, mum, and him. And he put all the stuff into a storage unit, so we've been going through that. We try and go like once a week or once every 2 weeks to go through it. And so I did that this morning. So now it's 10:11 and sorry, it's bustling around here at the moment. There's cars and trucks. I thought it was a little quiet area, but apparently not. Yeah, so we've been going through that. It's 10:11 at the moment, and I've spent the morning there, so I've kind of been thrown out. I haven't done any work yet, which is quite frustrating for me. And it's always a bit emotional for me going to the storage unit and looking through the stuff that's there, because it's like, my old stuff from when I was a kid, and like some of my mum's stuff. So it is quite emotionally taxing doing that. So I've got a 30-minute drive back home, and then my plan is to smash out a client website. I've got to do a website build, so I'm really hoping I can do that whole thing in 3 hours or less. I'm going to see how I go, because I actually have a new service that I want to bring out soon. Whether or not it's going to stay in the rotation, I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's going to be a permanent service, but I really want to do like a website in a day, which I've not offered before. But like really productizing my offers down even more, and that would kind of be my only web offering, would be the website in a day, just so I can still support clients who need that. And I do really enjoy web stuff. I can still support the clients who need that, and it's in a much shorter time frame so that it's not going to be dragging on. So I'm going to sort of practice that today with my current client and try and do it in 3 hours. And then I'm really hoping that I can work on my business and really work ideally on the launch assets for my upcoming 4-day experience, my little low ticket offer I have called Big Deal Brand. So I'm really hoping I can work on the launch assets for that. That's my goal, like work on the messaging for it, you know, put a little sales page together, or at least the copy for it, sort of map out the emails, that kind of thing. That would really help me feel productive. And then I'd also like to work on mapping out my other offers and what I want to be launching for the rest of the year, which I did do a little bit of work on yesterday. Probably like half an hour to an hour worth of that yesterday. So I had, you know, I've got a couple of offers that I want to bring out, so that did feel good. But writing them down in my notes app, like some ideas, like yes, that's exciting, but it's not really action, because I have a lot of ideas in my notes app that just sit there, and that's where things go to die sometimes, and I don't want that to happen to these. So I feel like I have a lot of ideas, and when it comes to actually executing the ideas, that's where I sometimes fall flat, and I really need to work on that. And I think that's the thing with this pivot, is I'm like, I've got all these ideas and all these thoughts, and you know, things that I'm sort of looking forward to bringing out, like offers that I know will help people and that I know I'll enjoy executing. But I just get a bit stuck with, firstly, sort of the fear of like, what if they don't sell, and what if no one cares, and what if I don't message them and market them properly and launch them properly, and blah blah blah. And then also it's like a lot of work, you know, because if I do want to launch them properly and I do want to message and market them properly, that's a lot of work. So, and something I was thinking a little bit about yesterday as well was like, am I being lazy, or am I actually exhausted and or burnt out, kind of thing? Like, I'm not sure how to tell, because I was watching, one of the things I tried to do yesterday for my business was watching this training that I bought back in December that I never finished watching, and it's sort of like a launch messaging mini program. I was trying to watch that to, you know, follow the ideas to like come up with my launch messaging for Big Deal Brand. And I literally fell asleep in the middle of watching it. I wasn't even tired. I was just on the lounge watching it, and then suddenly my partner was waking me up. And I was like, how did that even happen? Like, and then from that point, I just was so exhausted in my body. I was like, I physically can't do any more today. And it really just made me think, like, am I just being lazy here? Like, I really should be able to kick my butt back into gear and go, no, Alex, this is really important to you. This is your livelihood. This is your career. This is your business. This is what you love to do. And you need to get off your ass and put the effort into this to make it happen. Or it's not going to go anywhere. Like, that is literally how it is. If you don't put the effort in, it's not going to go anywhere. And that's not to say, like, I really want to build a more easeful and peaceful business with this pivot. That's really my goal, but I have to put some work in to create that transition in the first place. It's not just going to happen out of nowhere. But then I was like, am I being lazy? Like, am I just like, no, I'm not going to do this. I don't feel like doing it. I feel just like napping on the lounge. So that's what I'm going to do. Is it that? Is it laziness? Or is it like, I actually am so exhausted and burnt out. I've poured so much into my clients' work today, and into those calls, and into like navigating, you know, issues with projects, you know, in that the other client call that I had yesterday. Sorry, I'm a bit all over the place. You know, is it burnout? Is it me being exhausted? Is it the fact that, you know, I have 2 illnesses that may also make me exhausted? Like, I'm not sure if I'm making excuses for myself and I'm just being lazy, or if I genuinely needed to rest that yesterday afternoon. I don't know, like, that's just where I'm getting a little bit stuck as well at the moment. And like, how to figure that out, and then also how to push myself within reason. I don't know if that made any sense, but you know, this is just a brain dump of thoughts. So I guess that's where I'm at. I would really like to take another step in the direction of my pivot today, but I'm feeling a bit stressed with all of the things, and now time is ticking and the day is over basically. I feel like it's 10:30 10:20, the day is over. I know I shouldn't think like that, but I kind of do. But I need to go home. I need to work on this website, and then ideally, like take tangible action steps towards this pivot, towards bringing out this low ticket offer, planning my launches for the rest of the year. So that's what I'm going to do. That is the goal, and I'll touch base with you tomorrow and let you know how I went with all of that. But I do really like this to try and help keep me a little bit more accountable, sort of video journaling. And I'd like to report back tomorrow and have good news and be like, I have done this, I'm feeling good, I've put effort into my business, I'm moving in the right direction with this pivot. So yeah, thank you for watching if you are still here with this babble and word dump. But I guess the last thing I want to say is, with this pivot, if anyone who might be in the same situation, I've actually found a lot of business owners on Threads. Actually, I'm really enjoying Threads at the moment. I found a lot of business owners who are in a pivot as well, or they've just finished a pivot, and it's really helpful for me to see other people going through the same thing, other people who have successfully completed a pivot. And maybe it was messy, maybe it took some time, but they did it, they got there, and that really helps me to see that. So if there's anyone watching this who is thinking about pivoting, or they're going through a pivot, I hope that it sort of helps to see someone else going through and sort of how I'm navigating it. Not that I really know what I'm doing, but it's just crazy to me how, like I mentioned yesterday, I've been in the process of this pivot for 6 to 8 months. It's been a slow process, but like how particularly in the last week I've been feeling the stress of it. But as time passes, it just becomes so much more clear to me how much more unaligned I am to what I'm currently doing. I'm so out of alignment with that. It's insane. And I hadn't felt that strongly about it before. It's ever since that 6 to 8 months started and I decided I want to start pivoting, things were starting to feel out of alignment. It was just grown and grown and grown. And now it just feels like I don't want to be doing this. And what I want to be doing feels so much more in alignment, and it lights me up to think about what I want to be doing and creating offers and helping people build their brands properly, and being more of a coach and a mentor and a consultant to them, working with them instead of just doing stuff for them, giving it to them and sending them on their way. It really excites me. So I know I'm making the right decision, and that's great. I really do believe in trusting your gut and knowing, innately, which direction you want to go in and what feels right for you and what is going to be right for you. But yeah, that doesn't make the process any less scary and any less intimidating. But yeah, I know I'm on the right path, which is good. My gut is telling me I'm on the right path more and more with each passing day, which is really why I have to take fast action with this, I feel, to make it happen. So that's where I'm going to leave it today. Had some people walking past probably wondering why I'm talking to myself seemingly in the car. But thank you for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm getting my eyebrows and eyelashes tinted and done tomorrow, which is very exciting, so I'll feel like less of a gremlin. But yeah, thanks for being here, and I'll catch you later.